What if everything you think you are, your thoughts, your fears, your memories, is only the surface, a restless mask worn by the mind? What if your true self is not the noise inside your head, but the vast stillness beneath all that turbulence, an infinite silence waiting to be known? Look around, the chaos of your day, the endless rush, the tangled emotions. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself the most ancient, most profound question of all? Who am I really? This question is timeless. It echoes from the quiet groves where ancient sages meditated beneath banyan trees to the bustling agoras, where Socrates challenged the youth of Athens to look inward and question their own souls. But what does it truly mean to know yourself? More than 2,000 years ago, in the mystical landscape of ancient India, a collection of spiritual texts known as the Upanishads appeared, not as rigid doctrines, but as living conversations, poetic explorations, and piercing questions. The Upanishads invited seekers to go beyond surface appearances and transient identities, to question the very foundation of who we think we are. They teach us a revolutionary idea. You are not your thoughts, nor your body, nor even your emotions. Instead, they introduce Atman, the eternal self, the unchanging consciousness that underlies all change. This was not a mere philosophical abstraction, but a call to direct experience. Across the seas, in a different world, Socrates, the father of Western philosophy, preached a similar but distinct message: know thyself. Yet Socrates sought knowledge through relentless questioning of beliefs, through reasoned dialogue and dialectic, aiming to understand the limits and powers of human knowledge itself. The Upanishads, however, pointed beyond intellect, beyond words and arguments, to the silent witness within, the pure presence behind every thought. Two different traditions, two paths converging on the same mystery. Who am I? But understanding this is no simple task. Our minds are crowded, noisy places. Scientific research reveals billions of neurons firing in complex patterns, creating the illusion of a coherent, continuous self that clings to memories, fears, and desires. Our identity feels real because it is woven from these experiences. Yet this self is fluid, shifting with every thought and emotion, never truly fixed. This raises a profound question. Is the self just a mental construct? A story we tell ourselves to feel whole? Or is there something deeper, something timeless, hidden beneath the restless waves of the mind? If the self is merely an illusion, then who is witnessing the illusion? If the self is eternal, how can it be accessed in our finite, ever-changing lives? Is it possible that the I you think you are is simply a passing shadow, and that your true essence is something far greater and more still? Yet for those brave enough to look beyond, destiny offers a different kind of knowing, a stillness waiting beneath the storm. The Upanishads don't just pose these questions, they guide us toward answers, not through abstract theories, but through inner practice and direct experience. They teach that Atman is not something to be grasped, but something to be realized by peeling away all false identifications. In this process of self-inquiry, asking who am I, and watching thoughts come and go without attachment, one discovers the silent witness behind the mind's chatter. This witness is pure awareness, unchanging and infinite. The sages speak of tat tiva meis, that thou art, a phrase that invites us to recognize that the same infinite essence in the cosmos pulses within us. This presence is not distant or otherworldly. It is the very foundation of our being, the ground beneath our feet, and the stillness in the eye of the storm. Scientific research into meditation and mindfulness supports this ancient wisdom, showing how focused awareness can quiet the brain's activity, allowing us to experience this profound stillness and presence. Philosophers from Carl Jung to contemporary thinkers resonate with the Upanishadic insight, affirming that the self is more than ego or identity. It is a whole interconnected presence that transcends fragmentation. This awakening is not an escape from life, but a deep engagement with it, seeing all things in their true light. But what does it mean to live as this stillness? Can one truly rest in this silent self while still walking through the noisy world? What becomes of fear, desire, and suffering when you realize you are not your thoughts, but the vastness in which they arise? The teachings of the Upanishads are not relics of a forgotten past. They are alive here and now. In a world overwhelmed by distraction, anxiety, and division, The call to be still is radical and urgent. Their wisdom inspired countless spiritual paths. From the Buddha's enlightenment under the Bodhi tree to the ecstatic union of Sufi mystics, today psychology and neuroscience affirm what sages intuited. Grounding ourselves in pure awareness reduces anxiety, cultivates compassion, and reveals the fundamental interconnectedness of all life. The stakes are immense. Without this refuge of stillness, we risk losing ourselves to endless striving, fragmentation, and despair. Yet with it, we find peace not as an escape, but as profound presence. So what if the stillness beneath your thoughts is your true home? Who are you really? Not the fleeting emotions, not the shifting thoughts, not the stories told by your mind. You are the silent witness, the infinite presence, the eternal self, the stillness in which all life moves. To know this is to awaken from the dream of separation, to stand at the center of your being unshaken by the storms of life. This awakening transforms everything. Fear softens, love deepens, and the world unfolds as a sacred dance of presence. Will you answer this ancient call? Step into the teachings of the Upanishads? Look beyond the surface. Discover the vast stillness that is you, and begin the most courageous journey, the journey home.